And we are back on this cloudy day in North Central Pennsylvania. I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. We've got a huge breakup for you. We also have a really neat story about a coder on the West Coast who's kind of, in a way, fighting for free speech. We got some positive social media stories. And, of course, it's the anniversary of Jackie Robinson. Mark, how are you doing today?
Well, right now, I'm doing really well. You can see glasses 2 days in a row. I think my eyes are getting there, but I just wanted to give them another day. But, I got my white golf shirt, my Toursville baseball golf shirt. When you wear a shirt like this, as you know, as a guy, one of the biggest points of the day is lunch, because anything you spill on this shirt you're going to wear it all day. So I already ate, I got through lunch, and I'm clean. I'm good. So there's a lot of pressure off. Like that's like getting in and out of the pits with no trouble right there. That's a good start.
Well, I'm surprised you went with your glasses because as of this morning, J-Lo is officially single. So I'm surprised that you went with them.
See, I didn't know that at the time, or I would have put the glass, because now I am back in play. If J-Lo, I'm a big fan, and I don't know. I would treat her well. I don't know. It's I thought they broke up a while ago. That's when you told me the story, I was like, you might want to check the date on that. But no, yeah. I just think she should know. And I told you before we went on, I was like, maybe I should have my brother text A-Rod and say, hey, do you have J-Lo's number? Because my brother wants it. You thought that was a bad idea, but it is an option.
It is an option. Here's what if you're dating A-Rod, first of all, he's a liar. Like, he is. Like, the film is there. Everyone saw him. He's a liar.
Aren't we all? Let's be honest. Aren't we all?
Listen, I'm not, like, casting stones in a glass house. Like, okay? But here's what I would say is because that, I think it's easier to date him because I don't think he's a good liar. Like, just because you are a liar doesn't mean you're a good one.
I don't like the repetitiveness of a liar. Like, what? What? Because why? Because he took steroids?
And then he lied about it. Listen, I'm not here to condemn somebody.
He lied about it.
Well, I'm just saying he looked right at the camera and almost cried.
Well, I think you're being a little too harsh on the guy. I mean,
So you're like an A-Rod apologist.
No. I'm an A-Rod fan. I think he was a great player. I think he was. Wow. I like A-Rod. And I've in my conversations with him in life, it was once in a passing hallway when I was with my brother. He's like, "Hey, Alex, this is my brother Mark." I was like, "Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you." And I was, when he was broadcasting up here at Williamsport. When ESPN was here, the one day I got to go one year, and I just went up. I was like, "Hey, I'm Mike Messi's brother." He's like, "Yeah, where is your brother? Doesn't he live right here?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't think he'll be here." So, or maybe he did. I think he did show up, or he called in or something. But anyway, so it's not like I know Alex, and I don't, But anyway, no, I think he's a nice guy. I think you're being too harsh on him. And I feel bad. As a human, I feel bad that their love story has gone sideways. But I would like to jump in and comfort J-Lo if she needs it.
Okay, first of all, you're a sap. Like your only goal in life is for people to like you, and
that's not true.
And that's stopping you from realizing that A-Rod is one of the worst liars ever.
Oh,
he's not good at it. He wasn't. It's one thing to lie. It's another thing to do it and not be good at it. And he wasn't good at it. No,
I'm done with. No. First of all,
on a scale of 1 to 10,
my only goal is to have people like me.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how far out of your league is J-Lo?
I would say we're even.
You're equal.
Now you're saying this. You have not seen the movie Hustlers.
No.
Which, A, she was gorgeous. B, she was incredible. She didn't get nominated, which was a ripoff. But she's like 50. I mean, I would say that she's a little old for me. I'm only 49. I think she's like 51. So I'd probably have to settle a little bit in that aspect. But no, I think we could give it a run.
I wish you the best of luck. I'm pulling for you. I hope it happens for you.
I think it's laughable that you say all I do is want people to like me, and we've been doing this show for like 2 months, and you still don't like me. But
I'm a tough cookie. Like it's
you're
hard
hard
to break me.
All right. Anyway, J-Lo, I'm here. Call me.
So there's another story coming out, and this is, you want to talk about just, you think that there's this whole troop and just kind of like working on things, and then you find out it's one person, and it kind of blows your mind. There is a 23-year-old on the West Coast. I believe he's outside of Portland, and his name is Nick Lim. And he is the main reason that the far right conservative party has been able to stay kind of online. So while these other platforms, you and I had talked before about how there was a movement to try to get Fox News off of the cable network. Amazon has come out and said that they won't host any of the far right shows or any of the social media platforms that they're trying to build up. There's a 23-year-old on the West Coast named Nick Lim, who is basically the one person who came forward with his own tech company and said, I will keep you online. And they are using his hosting platform to keep them there. And when asked about it, his kind of philosophy was like, I don't care who they are. Like, it's freedom of speech. I don't care who they are. And I'm here to collect the money, and I'm here to keep them online.
Yeah, and his big thing isn't freedom of speech, it's free markets.
Yeah.
He's like, there is a large client base here that has no one to take care of them, and I'll do it. And when I heard this story, my immediate thought isn't that, because I know we've talked about there's so many more platforms for the far left to use, and to use with I don't want to say freedom, but with their blessing, like, come to us. And the far right is finding nowhere to go. And my immediate thought is, then why doesn't someone from the far right build a platform? Like, are all the tech geeks, are they all left? Isn't there anyone on the right smart enough to do this? And Nick Lim came out and it's like, I'm not even on the right, but there's a big clientele here. I'm going to make lots of money, and you say whatever you want. I mean, it is. We talked about this with Fox News maybe a month ago when Congress people were coming out and saying Fox News should be shut down because they said wrong things. Well, all news is say the wrong things. The whole, I don't want to say the censorship, but if you're a private business, if you're Amazon or you're Facebook or whatever, and you don't want to promote something, that's their right. But as a society, with all the information, all the stuff that we have, we shouldn't be cutting people off just because we disagree with them or just because they're extremists. We hope that society's better than that, and that is. It is dangerous once we start having a large group of people with no voice, or with a voice but no place to broadcast it.
So the neat thing about this story to me is this is the first time where someone's just waving their hand in the air and basically claiming, like, what everyone already thinks is that I'm doing this for the money, right? Like, this isn't done out of political advantage. This isn't being done out of like religious affiliation, ethnicity, nothing other than the fact that he's basically saying, I'm a 23-year-old kid. I'm trying to start my own tech company, and like, let's do this. Like, freedom of market. I'm here. I don't care what you have to say. Like, we basically promote freedom of speech, and we're going for this because I'm going to fill a void and I'm going to be able to make money. I think he is a prime example of what America has been leading to this entire time. And that's like, he's just the first person to come out and kind of not hide it, right? Like, he's the first person to come out and not like toot the horn and be like, this is for freedom of speech, or this is, I'm a far right, and this is for, he's basically just come out and saying, like, I'm here because it's a free market, and this is the best way for me to like break into the business and make money.
And it's part of it probably because he's 23 and he's still got that, like, a little bit of teenage, like, what do I care? Like, yeah, I'm here for the money, and what do I care? And there's a refreshingness to it as we go. Every time we go through a political cycle, there's so much rhetoric and people saying what they have to say to get votes, and people saying what they have to say to not make their people mad. I mean, we were just talking, this wasn't one of our talking points, but which Trump did I just say was it Ivanka?
Yes.
She just got the vaccine. So now at the same point, there are lots of Trump supporters who are saying that she turned on them by getting the vaccine. Then the same day or yesterday, Trump was giving a speech to his supporters that said, I think it should be called the Trump scene because I'm the one that got the vaccine started. So you get all this political mambo-jambo of like, well, the right is now against Ivanka because she got a vaccine that some of the left is against, but Trump is trying to win favor. He's saying the left is taking all this credit for the vaccine, and I did the vaccine, it should be me. And you get all this blah, 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 and this kid's just here like there's no window dressing. He's just like, I'm here for the money.
Yeah. No, there's a lot to be said for that. In 23, like you would think if Amazon turns it down and all these hosting platforms are turning it down, you would think there's like this company with mountains of people and they're figuring this out. Nope, just a 23-year-old kid on the West Coast, basically just keeping them afloat.
And he's going to do, I would guess, very well for himself financially. And yeah, I think he'll do okay.
Yeah, no, I think he already is doing okay for himself.
He probably is.
Okay, let's spin the wheel. Can I put you on the spot? Can I have you walk him through it?
Sure. Join the Midday Show group on Facebook. We'll spin the wheel, and we will try to give you a Wise gift card. We have $25. We have $50. We have $100. We also have some prizes from some other places like the Moon and Raven, Eat and Run, and we also have the Break Room. And that's it. And you win a free T-shirt if you've got your name pulled out. So somebody will win. It was Lightsell yesterday, wasn't it? My old buddy Lightsell yesterday, who won a gift card that I'm keeping. Did I tell him that? Did I say that I'm going to keep it?
You might have gave him the heads up.
So today we've got a new winner spit out by the computer. But yeah, just join the Midday Show group. That's all you have to do, and we can have some fun.
Here we go. Today's random winner from the Facebook group is Bonnie Bear. Bonnie Bear, today's Midday Show Facebook group winner.
Not to be confused with Bonnie Blair, who won like 5 Olympic gold medals. Do you remember her? Are you old enough to remember Bonnie Blair?
I like this Bonnie better. Here we go.
She was a speed skater. She was good.
Oh, just passed the $100 gift card for Wise. Sorry, Bonnie.
Oh, is that $100? I could use that.
Can I just it right now?
Yank that out of there one of these days? So, all right. So, congratulations to Bonnie. We'll get you a T-shirt, and here we go.
Positivity of social media. You and I, we've talked a lot about. You made this point. It's very easy to make a list of things of all the things that are wrong with social media. So when something comes across that's a positive story, I think you and I kind of like to try to promote it. There was a hiker in California who was fine. He took a picture, and you can actually see the picture here in the middle of the screen. Took a picture of himself kind of sitting on a ledge, feet dangling over kind of this ravine in California, texted it to a buddy. 6 hours later, he sends a text message to his friend that says, hey, I'm lost and my phone's about to die, not sure what to do. The buddy tries to call him, phone's dead, can't get to him. His friend uses the picture, the same one on your screen, and what happens is the state of California, the park department, whoever it was, posted the picture and said, if anybody can tell where this is or help us, please let us know. A guy on social media said, I have something to do with aerial photography. I can help you out. And then a couple of hours later, they started the search from that point and found the guy and saved his life. It's a neat way like that social media, like 15, 20 years ago, I don't even know if the guy gets found.
And not to distract from the topic, just looking at that picture scares me. When you said feet dangling off, like I'm scared just sitting here on this chair. But yeah, what we were talking before, we want to talk about the positivity of social media. And there's still those people who are not on. The people are like, I'm not on Facebook because it's so bad. Or I need a break from Facebook because it makes me mad and blah, blah, blah. And if you want to make your list of the negative things about social media, we can make one very easily. If you want to make a list about the positive things of social media, we could make one very easily, but we don't. We see whether it's everything from births to, somebody buys a new dog. There's a lot. People have come in and out of surgery. This is how you learn. You get to stay in touch with so many people who have cancer treatments, people who have grandchildren, just things like that. There's so many elements of life of our friends. I mean, I learn all my stuff like I learned DMX from social media, and we learn things like that. But there's so many you learn so many good things, like a simple thing of somebody got a new job or a job promotion or they moved, and you learn this just through social media, and it's made the world so much smaller. Yes, there are negative aspects because people just politicize it or they're vicious or whatever, but there is so much positive about it if you look for it, but we just don't talk about it enough. Not to this extreme, like I'm talking about happy things with your friends and your family. This actually saved a dude's life.
Yeah, no, it's pretty incredible. And then we have another story too, just positivity. WNEP picked it up, and it's about a young boy named Noah here in the Williamsport area. And he actually started like his own Earth Day cleanup, and they created a Facebook group, and now it's kind of grown, and they have different spots where you can show up and clean on Earth Day. And all that idea, just like positivity through social media. WNEP picks it up, does a video. Now all of a sudden people are joining in, the group is growing. So even just something as simple as like a 6-8-year-old kid wanting to kind of like promote Earth Day and help clean up his community, all of a sudden becomes much more real and much more possible, just because of the influence of social media surrounding it.
Yeah, and it is a neat story, and I know Earth Day's been around for a long time. I mean, one of the aspects of Earth Day, it is now, I don't even know how long Earth Day's been around, but it went from the cleanup to, once we get the trash and we throw it into the trash bin, then what happens to it? Like that's where we're seeing the issues with plastics in the oceans and stuff. So we're kind of advancing here as to what do we do? And it's not that easy. This isn't just like walking along the highway picking up litter. Like once we do that, then what happens to it, and what is all this stuff doing to the environment? But you're right, it's another neat little thing for an 8-year-old kid who's just trying to make the world better, and we see it and we share it. Yeah, it was on WNEP, but we see it and we share it through social media, and it's just such a better way to get the message out there.
Oh yeah, like an 8-year-old can start a movement now because of social media. Like it's great.
And when you were 8 years old, I'm sure you would have started a good movement.
You know what I wasn't doing when I was 8 years old? I wasn't going outside and hitting fireflies with a wiffle ball bat.
Whatever. You know why? Probably because you swing like a girl. That's probably why.
Well, speaking of people who didn't swing like a girl, it is the anniversary of Jackie Robinson. It's the anniversary of his first game, I believe. Mm-hmm. Okay, the anniversary of his first game. Do you have thoughts on Jackie? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go off of this. I didn't know
the movie. It was Chadwick Boseman, wasn't it? Wasn't Chadwick Boseman?
Yep.
The thing about it is, I mean, there's so many different ways to talk about with Jackie Robinson, but the brilliance of Branch Rickey, who was the general manager who signed him, and it just goes to show kind of in life, it's not just about who can do the job. And you've seen it at every aspect of whatever business you're in. If the principal retires, you don't necessarily take the best principal or the best teacher and promote him, because just because someone's a good teacher doesn't mean they're going to be a great principal. And you have to find the right person for the job here, not just talent wise, but you see it in all walks of life. The best salesman might not be the best person at directing the sales team. That just might be their niche. And what the fascinating thing about Jackie Robinson is, Branch Rickey picked him because he could handle it. And Jackie Robinson had gone to UCLA. Jackie Robinson had been a military guy. He thought Jackie Robinson wasn't necessarily the only black guy who could play in the major leagues. They had the Negro leagues and had all kinds of talented guys. He thought he knew how hard it was going to be for the first black player, and he thought Jackie Robinson could handle it. And when you go through and you see some of the things that they dealt with, and also that Pee Wee Reese was such a big part of, if you've seen the movie, that scene. And one of the other things, when he was supposed to play, this is how legend goes, that all the other teams were going to boycott, and they were waiting for this phone call to go around, and kind of legend has it that the St. Louis Cardinals were waiting for this call, like, did Robinson take the field? What did they do? And Stan Musial was like, I'm playing. And Stan Musial ran out on the field. And if you were a St. Louis Cardinal back in those days, if Stan Musial took the field, you took it too. And then they're like, well, the Cardinals are playing. Well, okay. And then everyone played, and it became much ado about nothing. But
I'd never heard that before.
Of the Stan Musial part?
No, I'd never heard that.
And that's legend. I should have probably researched it before, but that is. But yes, Jackie Robinson was a great player, but there were lots of great players. It was of the makeup of Jackie Robinson's character and his persona. And I think they show that very well in the movie 42, the struggle that it was. So you've seen 42, right?
Oh yeah, I've seen 42. I mean, it sounds weird. It sounds like cliche. There's nothing left to really be said about Jackie Robinson other than at this point to just celebrate it. I don't know. I've the jersey number being retired. Jackie Robinson Day, is today the day that they'll all wear 42, or is that on his birthday?
No, that's today.
That's today where they'll all wear 42. I mean, at this point, I think it's one of those things where you just have to continue to celebrate it, and you just have to keep bringing up the name, right? Because you said, like, even just hearing the story about Stan Musial and him taking the field, that's something that I didn't know. So I think as long as we continue to celebrate it, that's what's important. Because like, we're almost to the point where there are younger kids who don't know who Jackie Robinson is. They have to be told. It's not just this foregone conclusion that they know. I know for a fact that there are younger kids that when everyone's wearing 42 today, they will ask somebody like, why is everybody wearing 42? So again, I think at this point, it's just about celebrating it.
And I think it's important in our world of firsts, when we talk about, the first band to sell 100 million albums, or the first, all these first things that are achievements are so it's like, hey, congratulations to you. The first guy to scale Mount Everest, the first guy to run a mile under 4 minutes, and all these things that they happen. And it's with Jackie Robinson, it wasn't like he was quote unquote the winner because he was first. It was hardest for him because he was first.
Well, also too, it wasn't like it was completely his choice to be first. Trust me, like, it's not like he wanted to be the first black baseball player in the major leagues. If you're Jackie Robinson, I'm sure you hope that there were dozens, hundreds of black baseball players in the major leagues before you. So also the weird aspect of it wasn't his choice to be first. And the aspect of like what,
we saw this with the Masters as they're talking about, this this Hideki kid is, the pressure of trying to win one for Japan. Well, the pressure that Robinson was under is because if he had failed, not just on the field, but off the field, if he couldn't handle all this stuff of staying in different hotels and taking the verbal abuse that he took everywhere, if he couldn't have handled it, then it would have been like, nope, we told you. That's why they can't play in the big leagues. But because just the weight of what he went through until I think Larry Doby was second. I think Larry Doby was the first American League player. And maybe I might not have that absolutely right, but Larry Doby was one of them. But he knew how much pressure, not just that, he was kind of carrying this for his whole people. And it is we keep reminding ourselves, but I don't know if we remind ourselves enough of what he did and the pressures that he had to go through. And all these people, when you see these stories about, I saw one about, was it the Little Rock Six? The first kids that were allowed when they integrated schools. Yeah. And they were like, we're going to have a couple black kids go to this white school. Like, they were not welcome. They'll tell you stories. They had teachers that wouldn't talk to them. And I'll tell you the stories, like I had the one teacher that was nice to me. And it was hard. It was really, really hard, above and beyond the fact that he played great. He ended up being Rookie of the Year, and he's a great player. But that's not what the story was about, and that's not what this day is about. No, for sure. What else? Anything else you got for us? Well, I got all kinds of things. What do you want to know? I will say this. We should say this. Not that it. LaMarcus Aldridge just announced his retirement. What did I say? Irregular heartbeat. It was a health condition.
Yeah.
LaMarcus Aldridge is very good. If you're an NBA fan, he's an NBA player and he's good. He's a net. So in the good luck, bad luck, like, nobody's rooting for this, but Alize Johnson just benefited from LaMarcus Aldridge's retirement because there's minutes.
Yeah. So one less body in front of you, for sure.
So it's, obviously you don't root for this, but it's part of the game and it's part of the world. And so, yeah. So you don't usually get good NBA. I say good NBA. I don't know how to say it because the guy has a heart issue and he had to retire. Now LaMarcus Aldridge has a great career. It's not like he's not a 22-year-old kid. He had a great career, and maybe is he a Hall of Famer?
I think so. I only say that I didn't realize this until my cousin had said something to me the other night. He was all NBA 6 times, I believe. Which, if you're all NBA 6 times, there's not a lot of dudes walking around who were named all NBA 6 times and didn't get into the Hall of Fame. So I mean, he's definitely a test case for it. But if you're one of the best 15 players in the NBA 6 years in a row, it's hard to keep you out.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Midday Show today. Thank you to Weiss Markets for being the title sponsor. We appreciate them. And congratulations to Bonnie Bear, even though you didn't hit the wheel. We'll be sending a T-shirt your way. And we got some stuff coming up. We're going to figure out the loser wheel here hopefully next week sometime. We'll make a fun day out of it. And we got some other things around the corner for you.
We have trivia coming up next Tuesday, of course.
Yep.
And we have another segment that we want to add. I don't know if we'll do it next Thursday, but we'll have. But yeah, we're having fun. Our viewership is up, so we thank you for that. And but anytime you get a bat peeing on a person's story, like, viewership's just going to go up. We can't get lucky with those every day. No. But the A-Rod J-Lo breakup, I don't know. I bet that interests a lot. And let me tell you this. I keep talking from the J-Lo side because that's what the women don't think A-Rod's a hard guy to look at. Let's be honest.
No, you just have to watch. You're just gonna have to gauge what he says to you. That's all.
Can you imagine though, for these guys, like who follows up? Who's the chick that says I can compete with J-Lo? Who's the girl? And I'm not saying that he's not gonna have thousands of offers, but who's the girl that's like, I can follow up J-Lo?
I don't know. I mean, after you're around somebody for 3 months, like, I don't know. I have that 3-month time limit, and then it just kind of, I don't know.
I mean, I think I can follow up A-Rod.
You don't think once you're around, A-Rod for a while, he's just Alex, and once you're around J-Lo for a while, she's just Jenny.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
But the problem is we can't get around him for 3 minutes, let alone 3 months. I think I would be, and I obviously, my brother's a baseball player, and they're so much. I tell people this. They are so much more boringly normal than you would expect.
Oh, absolutely.
They just have a skill.
100%. They just happen. Their name just has a cachet to it, and that's it. They're just like you and I.
I mean, and we see the newsmakers are the extravagant ones, extreme ones, the musicians. And I mean, you get into the Hollywood art world, there are some that are very different. But from of the sports competitive, most of them are just they are much more normal and boring. They just have a skill that the rest of us don't have. But other than that, to sit down and talk to them, they're just like, yeah, whatever.
Alize Johnson guarded Joel Embiid last night, and Alize is one of the most normal, down-to-earth people you will ever meet. He just has a skill.
Did he shut him down?
I don't know if I would say. I will say this: he didn't back down from him. I don't know if I would say he shut him down, but there were a couple there's a couple of clips where he's not backing down. He actually kind of chest to chest had some words he was there. He was not stepping away from him.
Did the term gangster slap come out in the middle of this anywhere?
It did not.
No? Okay.
No. All right. I'm Jeff Everett. He's Mark Messina. Thanks for watching the Midday Show, brought to you by Weiss Markets. You can find us at NorthcentralPa.com. Thanks for watching.
If you haven't seen Hustlers with J-Lo and you're a dude, go see it. You won't be disappointed. And the movie doesn't suck either.
Have a good one.